Right. All I'm gonna ask to start is, could you tell me your name, and could you tell me what we're gonna talk about today?
My name is Brooke, and we're going to talk about my practices in demonology.
It just said your name, Brooke. It literally just said Brooke on camera, guys.
You can move this ball that we've set out for you. You can move one of the chairs downstairs. You can play with one of our shirts.
Oh my god. Bro, do you have any idea what we're walking into here?
Not really. Just hit my fresh tattoo.
Show it off real quick before we start this demon hunt.
We just got these.
R.I.P. son.
R.I.P. baby. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in pieces.
Now let's go figure out what kind of demons are haunting this household.
I'm ready, man.
I'm excited, actually. Okay. Oh my god, she has a dog.
Oh, it's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Hello, puppy.
Oh, no, sir. No barking.
Oh, wow.
So cute in here.
Yeah, it's actually really nice.
He's friendly.
Hey. Oh.
Hello, fat cat. His name is Relic. My name is Brooke, and we're going to talk about my practices in demonology. To me, entities and like them are kind of like focal points of energy, maybe created from elements or the land or a certain place, or who knows, some ancient ritual. I'm not entirely sure, but to me they seem like energy focal points of certain kinds of energy. Each entity has their own kind of energy. It feels a certain way, it has a different temperature, a different way it flows. Yeah, that's basically it.
Alright, and what kind of work do you do with these entities? That's what I'm curious about. What benefits do you have by trying to communicate and contact them?
Personally, I mainly do energy work and meditate. As far as like benefits go, my life has done a complete 180 since I got serious about it, and even since I was like kind of just dabbling. I could just go into depths of some of the ways my life has improved.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So I moved out at 17 and was struggling working a part-time job. I was introduced to my patron Gushin, actually by my ex-husband, but I think he was mostly just a dabbler who knew the name and thought he was cool or whatever. At one point he ended up going to jail, and then I started getting like more actually into the practice. I set up an altar. I started working with him regularly, meditating regularly. I went from having a part-time job to a full-time job, becoming management in my full-time job. I worked at the computer company for 3 years. And then basically just life was slowly improving, but to be honest with my ex-husband, it was definitely, he was kind of a mooch and was draining me. 2 years ago, I left my ex-husband and my life did a complete 180. I got an amazing job that I completely love. Pretty much all the people at my work respect me. New car, better place, better boyfriend, better life in general. And have actually spent a really long time working on myself, which really is, in my case, the most important thing. The mundane things are nice, of course, to improve my life and my mental health, but the main thing really is just working on myself, fixing my toxic traits, self-knowledge, and just learning. I'm a big learner. I love to just learn about random stuff. If something interests me, I'll just research it for hours. So working with him, he's like a big history buff. He like loves history, so he taught me about like Egypt and their connection to the Canaanites and Phoenicians and their involvement and like their culture and language and everything like that, and then into Egypt and just what he has taught me as far as like history and stuff like that, the things he has shown me has just been like crazy. Actually, some weird stuff when I very first started meditating with him. Some of the images he showed me. Geez, I can just rant about this for hours.
Please do.
Did you see the light flicker?
Did the light just flicker?
When she gets really excited about it, she goes all cold because she gets goosebumps, and then the light just flickered.
Yeah, I'm just like, I went through a lot growing up, like parents divorced. I have depression and anxiety, just bad relationships over and over and over. And then even in my last relationship, then connecting with him, he was kind of like the one person who was like there for me no matter what. If I was sad, if I needed somebody to talk to, somebody to teach me, to show me the way, how I could improve things, everything like that, he was the one. Like, not to be over dramatic, but facts are facts. If I hadn't started working with him, to be honest with you, I don't know that I would still be here right now. Real talk.
I gotcha.
Yeah. He was always there for me at my worst moments when no one else was. And then just kind of taught me to love myself in a way. It's not that he forced me to love myself or whatever, but he taught me how to improve myself and see the good in myself and also the good in the world. Because I definitely started as a pessimist, so now I'm kind of more balanced in the middle.
So, who exactly are you working with, do you believe? Gusha. Could you spell that for me? Gusion. Gusion. And could you tell me where, first off, to communicate with Gushin, what exactly is I don't want to say, it's not a ritual, more like the method?
Well, at first, there wasn't too much communicating because I couldn't hear or understand him. But basically just through meditation now, I can talk to him like on a regular basis. At first, when I first started meditating, I could start feeling energy very slightly, and he's actually the one who taught me how to do energy work. He's the one who taught me how to like sense energy and feel energy, and then he booted me off to a Reiki class to kind of get a better idea about it. But so he taught me how to sense energy, feel energy, and then by doing that, improve my whole astral senses. So over time, I started being able to see images in my head that he would share with me. Some more vague than others, sometimes just X's or check marks as yes or no. And then slight buzzing, kind of. It's that weird ringing kind of noise. And then slowly that weird ringing noise turned into actual words. And at first the words were a lot like my own thoughts. And it took me probably about a year before I could really, really differentiate. And for a long time I was very like, sit back kind of, very skeptical about the thoughts I was receiving because I was like, well, this is probably my subconscious. I don't know, it kind of seems like my subconscious, And then over time the voice actually has gone from being like, now the thoughts themselves usually were like, very like, okay, that doesn't really seem like my thought process, very like outside my thought process, but still I was skeptical, especially because like I was the only one I knew who really do that kind of thing ever, so it was very like intimidating to me because I was like, am I going crazy? Look here.
I just want to say, interestingly enough, it sounds very similar to something I dealt with once upon a time.
Yeah.
But mine was a very negative thing. You already know about this. I had what I called a minor possession by an entity who only called himself by the devil or stranger.
Yeah, usually they do.
Yeah. But everything you're describing actually described what I went through at the time, which was thoughts that were not my own, and basically feeding off my energy.
Yes.
It was a nightmare.
Oh yeah. My friend Megan, and I can use her name because I already had kind of talked to her about you guys coming over and stuff. She had something like that attached to her, and now the thing is, those kind of entities are low-level entities, and they latch on to anything they can find, and their main goal is to make you fear them and believe in them so that you'll feed them energy. Now with him, we share energy. I take his energy. He takes mine, we share. It's mutual sharing. With them, they just want your energy, and most importantly, they want as much of it as they can get. And then it starts small, usually in dreams. They try and reach out to you garner up that fear, that little tiny fear connection is what allows them to actually start interacting with the physical world around you, and then trying to latch on to the people around you as well as kind of a fail-safe. But yeah, no, there are definitely negative entities out there, and I think that's also a reason why I'm kind of doing this, is because there's a lot of misinformation about like entities like G and entities like that. A lot of people conflate the two, and they're very different. Their goals are very different. My rule of thumb is if it ever demands you do something, wants you afraid, wants to hurt you, wants you to hurt yourself or others, or makes you feel angry, that kind of stuff, it is a negative entity, and you want nothing to do with it. And entities like G, they help, they bring love, warmth, knowledge, they want to help you along your path. Now, I'm not saying they might not have ulterior motives. They probably do. All entities I have ulterior motives. Everybody has ulterior motives, you know. It's just they're all individuals. They have their own thought process and their own wants and goals too. But usually they're not going to try and steal energy from you or drain you or hurt you in any way. I will say, unless you challenge them, like if you outright are just like, fuck you, disrespectful, like, you know, purposely trying to rile them up, some of them don't have patience for that, and they actually will react negatively. But they're not really trying to harm. It's more so just a, hey, you know, like, respect me, I respect you. You don't respect me, then I'm not gonna fucking respect you, pretty much. Excuse you.
The cat did that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. That gave me a little shock for a second.
You're like, oh my god.
Excuse you.
Well, I really want to know your opinion on now, because you've sparked my interest due to the fact that I've experienced something similar on the opposite end of the spectrum. Do you believe that these lower entities, like what I dealt with, and these entities you're dealing with, which are on a more positive note, are from the same place?
It's hard to say. I wouldn't say they're from like the same place. I think they're born from different things, I would say.
Born from different things. You think one like could be born out of negativity and
Oh yeah.
human negativity, and it creates manifests an intelligent entity?
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, like a lot of the times, at least in my opinion, negative entities actually used to be humans.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say that there are definitely never human negative entities out there, but I feel like a lot of the ones that people encounter most likely were human at some point and just nasty people in life. You know, they stay the same once they die.
You seem to have trust in this entity.
Yeah.
If you were to have to guess, and I understand that this entity is probably watching and listening right now, you'd say?
Oh yeah, he is. He's here.
Always around, basically, or just whenever?
Well, one, he's always connected to me, so I can expect him to pop in at any moment. And
Okay.
two, this is his home as well.
Okay. So, hello, Goetia. Very nice to meet you.
No, Gushin.
Gusha?
Goetia is the actual book that he's from. That's what I was trying to clarify.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Gusha, it's nice to meet you, so please don't be offended by any of these questions.
He's a little hard to offend.
All right, cool.
So yeah, you're good.
What possible theories do you have behind the motives of this entity that's hanging around?
So I have a couple theories, but one of them being is that I actually think that him and possibly my past lives or ancestors are connected to him in some way. I've had like experiences since I was young that I didn't really realize had anything to do with him until now. And then just my family in general, strangely enough, is known to be seers, prophetic visions, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which is something that he does. I would kind of consider him very much a druid. As far as hanging around with me, I think that he wants to help me grow, and I think that if I did know him in a past life, or my ancestors did, then he has put a lot of time and energy into me in particular, my ancestors, my family, whatever. And I think that his main goal really is to share truth with people who want truth. Knowledge with people who want knowledge, I would say.
All right. And one other serious question. maybe two. I got two. How is Gushin in any way, in your opinion, related to the idea of demons or? I mean, you were talking about demonology. Mm-hmm. How do you relate the two?
I guess it would take a little bit of a history lesson. I'm not going to go back too far, but the basic gist of it is that when Christianity was starting to dominate the world, they basically went to each region and took their gods and goddesses and either turned them into saints or demonized them. Mm-hmm. And so all these different spirits and entities of different religions kind of got grouped into this like hodgepodge and called demons, basically.
It's interesting you say that because I knew someone who used to have a familiar named Ian, or Inanna. And that was, as you know, Inanna was a Sumerian goddess, but now deemed as a demon, but claimed to be once a goddess.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to think that maybe the old tribes were indeed speaking and worshiping these different, just powerful spirits.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. A lot of the entities in the Goetia are definitely linked to like old gods. Like I don't really mess with them too much, but like beings like Leviathan and Astaroth and there's a couple others, but like Lucifer, like, so actually Lucifer is one of the entities that I work with, but I don't call him Lucifer. I know him as Set.
Okay.
So as the Egyptian god Set. When I asked him what he would prefer to be called, his answer was, I don't care what you call me, I will answer to whatever. And then I pressed him because I'm annoying, and I just was like, hey, what do you actually want to be called? I'm asking you, what do you want? And he said Set. So I referred to him as Set. But there's a lot of entities like that in the Goetia. When you start researching their backgrounds and stuff like that, you'll find that they are almost identical to old gods. In some cases they are. In some cases the names just change slightly, or they take off part of a name or change a letter. Simple as that.
Just like Inanna becoming Ian. Mm-hmm. I am actually going to leave a clip of my friend's Spirit Box sessions communicating with this entity right here, just out of interest for the documentary.
Ian, a little voice. Ian. With us. Thank you for being with me, Ian. Repeat back to me, Mortis the Wizard. Mortis. The Wizard. And then it had a creepy laugh afterwards. What? And another one. What? Do it again. Do another laugh. What? Are you people listening to this? Ian, could you please teach me something now? Yes.
To prove what we do.
I think you just said something about teach us.
Always prove.
Spirit.
So we can come between heaven.
Okay, well, let's try some history. Do you know who the outlaw Billy the Kid is?
Yes. Okay.
The Kid. A woman said the Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Historical.
Historical. Could you say Billy the Kid?
There's an outlaw Billy the Kid.
Whoa!
Have you experienced any kind of negativity from all of this? Have you had any dark or demonic entities try to influence you or feel like they could try to approach you? Have you had any bad luck, when I say bad luck, I mean these entities interfering in any way, shape, or form of your life in any kind of negative light?
Not Gushin or any of the entities that I work with. In fact, it's always been positive and has actually been some like focal points of change in my life, but I have had some like lesser entities, but it's mostly because I inserted myself, like with my friend Megan. She had that entity that was attached to her, and I offered to help her. That definitely tried to attack me. I actually had to fight it off, drain it of energy, and had to cleanse her and everything. And that's not the only entity that I've encountered that's negative, probably the strongest one. There's actually a spirit at my work, an old man who doesn't like people being there after work hours, and I'm often there alone, and he always would try and scare me every time I'm there. But when you work with something like Gushin, normal spirits aren't very scary.
Right. The last thing I really wanted to ask, and this is something I'm hoping to do, because I feel like a lot of things you said, like I came in here not knowing what to expect or what exactly was going on here. But I actually ended up feeling I could relate on many levels, whether it's friends of mine who have similar encounters, myself having similar encounters. These entities also, a lot of them claim to be older gods, and a lot of them want to help or be friendly, and some, like in my case, wanted to hurt me, can be communicated through like typical ghost hunting devices, or at least they have been shown to. Would you be okay if tonight we attempted to speak with Gushin? You'd be alright with that? Have you ever tried to communicate using ghost hunting devices, communication devices?
Just an app that's supposed to detect magnetic frequencies, like a EMF reader on my phone.
Gotcha.
And I got some interesting stuff from that. Spikes. There's one that's supposed to try and like translate the frequencies. I got some interesting responses that were like pretty direct. Like even my cat's name, actually. I think I might have that on my phone, actually. Honestly, it takes some like working with to try and get like the frequencies to do the right things, but I just have like a couple things like relics, and then just north, which is his direction, and cloud, my dog Cloud.
So you're getting pet names and stuff. Can you show me real quick?
Yeah. See, it says clouded, but I mean that's pretty
yeah,
close
but it's
to
close.
Cloud.
You got relics and Cloud, and you got
Yep.
a cat named Relic and a dog named Cloud.
Relics. Yep.
Yeah, I see that.
And then I was actually watching your guys' cemetery video, and this happened twice, headstone.
Oh.
My dad was
What?
there for that,
While
actually.
you were watching a cemetery video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says
And then my dad
headstone.
had a coin in his pocket, and it was coin.
Oh.
Yeah, and he pulled it
See,
out.
that seems intelligent. What's the name of this app, by the way? I'm curious.
I think it's called... Oh. What?
What just happened?
What? It literally says my name. Like, what the That's never happened.
What just happened?
Hold on. If it would not do this, the apps.
It just said your
literally
name,
just said
Brooke.
my name.
It literally just said Brooke on camera, guys.
Fuck.
Okay, you're gonna send me that clip.
Yeah, I will.
I
Yo.
need that.
Literally, we were just shooting some
it's
B-roll,
never-
and it just
it's
sent,
never-
It just said her name flat
Now,
out.
one time, when my boss, David, came in, look, it said David.
Really, it said
Yeah.
his name too.
Yeah, and I literally was just like, did David just come in? And my coworker was like, yeah, he just walked in a second ago.
Now, I want to make this clear, you guys. It's named Brooke. We have not actually said the name Brooke
At all.
for a split second at the beginning when I asked
Yeah.
you
But
to
the
say
app
your
wasn't
name.
open.
But no, the app
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
open or
yeah.
anything.
Noises for this thing is kind of dumb, but it's supposed to. This is supposed to detect electromagnetic frequencies, and like the higher it goes.
We can actually test the validity of that
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
I'm about-
It's very low now. Oh yeah, no, it does. It does slightly. You pull it away, it goes low again,
Okay. Cool.
and it spikes again. So it does pick up EMF, but on very low
Alright,
levels.
that's good.
So that confirms that works.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
But that was interesting. You have to admit, bro.
Yeah,
It
that
said
was
her
really
freaking
crazy.
name.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So before we go into the ritual room, I didn't really want to say this around everybody, but I don't know what it is. Being in there is actually starting to make me feel a little panicky, a little anxious. I'm getting a tightness in the chest and all that. I am aware of the signs of a panic attack and all of that, and I got to say, just being in there, the feeling is making me shake. It's really fascinating. I haven't felt like this in quite a while. So I'm really looking forward to going to the ritual room in just a moment and see what all that's about. See if we can make contact with this demon that she's been working with. But I'll tell you, this house is heavy. It's really heavy. Alright, so how are we doing this?
I left that open so you can get that. But yeah.
Ah. Very cool. Nice dramatic entrance, I like. Who's that a picture of?
My sister.
Oh, okay.
That's my ancestor. Loved ones.
Cool. You got quite the collection here.
So where's the sigil?
Right here.
This right here?
Yep. That's the sigil.
And this, you believe, connects you deeper to him?
Yes. And I actually made that out of clay.
You did? Mm-hmm. Wow, looks really good. So what is this room, real
My
quickly?
ritual room. Meditation room.
And is this where you make a lot of the connections?
Since I make it like constantly, I would say no. I'm actually not in here doing the connection all the time because I just kind of take it with me everywhere.
So what's the point of this room?
When I want to do like a deep trance state or do yoga or actually like, I don't know, do like a reading or that kind of stuff, then I'll come in here and it's like my own space.
Okay, cool. I like it.
If you're here right now, could you try to say your name, please? That was Gushin. Listen back to it, I swear. Obviously I've been doing this so long I can pick up on it really easily. But somebody just went Gushin. Listen back, you'll see it. You'll see it.
Try it again. Try to get more clear.
Can we get that confirmation? Maybe a clear response? Could you say Gushin one last time to confirm? Hear you. Hear you? Behind you.
I heard that.
That's the second time it said Gushin.
Clear.
So,
That just gave me chills to that.
Whoa.
yeah, honestly, me too. Now I want you to ask the questions. Anything you, now that you can actually hear their voice, it's not their voice, but it's the manipulation they're able to speak through.
Yeah.
But they can respond to you now clearly through a device. Ask any question you like, but try to ask in a validating. So ask them to repeat a word. So if you're going to say, Gushin, how are you feeling today? Could you say happy or could you say sad to confirm? You know, give them a word for us to listen to.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What's my name?
That's a good start. Gushin, if this is really you, could you tell me her name? Okay. Clear. Much clear. Said Brooke.
That's crazy.
Alright. Gushin, if you are not dead, could you clearly and with purpose say not dead to confirm that you are not a dead spirit of a person?
A little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit, yeah. Can we say not dead? There's communication there, but I'm going to have to listen back to it with headphones and figure it out. Is there anything you personally would like to ask? Just if you could find out anything using words about Gushin.
Why don't you, Brooke, ask, because you make communication in your head, right? Why don't you put out a word in your head and see if you can hear it through the spirit box? You know what I mean?
Write it down.
Oh yeah, do you have a pen and paper? That'd be
I
so
do.
crazy.
Now, since I'm more tuned to hearing these words, do you think I should
You
know
should be able
it?
to see it.
Yeah, see it without saying it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just that way I know what I'm listening for if I hear
Well,
Well,
no, listen, and then
See what you
then
hear.
see it.
yep, let her do the whole thing.
All right.
Because
That way, there's
this,
not like some sort of like subconscious thought towards it.
this is a total experiment. We've never done this before.
Yeah, me either. So, not to this depth. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, this is cool.
yeah.
That's some solid responses so far, everyone watching. If this isn't just more validation, I don't know what is, but leave your opinions in the comments down below what you think is going on here.
I think it's funny that the little cat keeps coming in here because so many times on investigations when I've started to... Hey, it's okay.
Be nice. Be nice.
You might have touched his belly.
Sorry.
Just
Here, I'll come
playfulness.
to the side.
That's a playful thing.
Yeah.
I know.
Still.
Well, I was going to say that when there's good energy, the cats always come over.
Yeah.
I've
Oh
had-
yeah, he loves when I meditate.
I've had cats come over to me when I've been in cemeteries and just follow me around. They came just out of the woods and just sat by me. So, Brooke, you have written a word now on this piece of paper. No one knows what this is, but you know it.
Yep.
So we're going to do the spirit box now with Andrew, running a totally physical loop and see if you can hear it.
Okay, cool.
And please sit here. How about for like 20 seconds and just send that word out and try to convey that.
But you're going to have to ask Gushin to say the word on the spirit box that's written on the
Yeah.
paper that you're thinking. Could you ask that, please?
Gushin, can you please say the word that I wrote down and am thinking on the spirit box?
You heard it?
I've heard it like 3 times.
You heard it 3 times. What was the word?
Love.
Love.
Can you show that?
I'm going to listen back and
Yeah,
try and find
definitely.
it. You're positive you heard it?
Yeah, and definitely like right towards the end was like the loudest one.
Great. I'm looking forward to
Okay.
going over that.
Can you hold that out in the light so I can get a shot real quick?
Yeah, let's see it. In fact, Olivia, if you want to sit here, that'd be great.
Crazy.
I'm looking forward to looking back at this.
The
Yeah,
first,
me
the
too.
first one, it was like 2 parts, so I wasn't entirely sure. And then the second one was like clearer, but I was like clearer, and then the last one at the end. So.
Perfect.
It's pretty interesting. I am a person that's more interested in physical activity, obviously poltergeist activity, which is what I feel like is the most compelling. But still, a lot of those responses were very clear to a degree, and they really came through, especially some of the words. And when we did the experiment, I really thought that was cool because we've never done that on the channel.
Yeah.
And I've never done that in just investigating for years, never tried anything like that. So it's cool to have this opportunity, but we're not done yet.
And Brooke, what did you think about the spirit boxes?
I am both surprised and unsurprised at the same time, because I have faith in him and expected he would do something, you know. I guess I didn't expect just how clear it would be.
I know, right? Actually, some of those responses were pretty hardcore.
Well, then let's just ask. And I'm going to have you do this because I don't want to say it. Because this is your communication here. So why don't you just ask for maybe some physical signs of some sort.
Can you provide us some physical signs that you're here?
You can move this ball that we've set out for you. You can move one of the chairs downstairs. You can play with one of our shirts. I know Brooke would definitely love to see something if you could help us out here. And I know you've just met us, but we would all love to just see or hear something from you. All positive energy here.
Why is the candles flashing like crazy much?
Downstairs?
Yeah.
It's not near a vent either, it's underneath those.
Do you see it behind you? They're just like going, let me turn the lights off. They're just going absolutely, they
and
were.
the one in the bathroom too.
Yeah, the one in the bathroom is going
There's a
absolutely
fan
mental.
in the bathroom, but the one downstairs is on my bar, which has no vent near it.
Yeah, stop doing it now. The light's not flickering anymore.
I kept hearing scratching from like that side, but I don't know if the cat's there.
Yeah, I checked earlier. He's not under here. Sometimes he'll crawl under there.
Okay, let's keep this silence then.
Okay.
Why don't you ask again, Brooke?
Can you give us a physical sign that you're here?
I heard a knock on your
Behind me.
It was behind you.
Yeah.
It's in the bookshelf.
Louder, please. Can you do it one more time, but louder?
Alright, so after everything we've done tonight, and the outstanding, intelligent, validated communication we've received, I think it's safe to say that you are, in my opinion anyway, dealing with an entity on the level that you do believe. This is based off of many factors, including my own personal experiences, my own research, my friends who have also experienced the same. The fact you can tell me the stories of what you've been experiencing, and they relate so closely to all the other, let's call them symptoms maybe, or symptoms, I feel like that's not really the right way to put it, but you do know what I mean. Yeah, I can honestly leave here satisfied that we had made communication with something quite intelligent, and honestly, all I'm going to say is I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Don't let it take...
I've been doing it for 7 years, so
yeah, so
I'll be straight.
I think you know what you're doing. Like I said, just don't lose yourself to it.
Yeah.
But we all know you seem to be quite satisfied with this entity. It doesn't seem to be negative. It seems to be helping you, as you said. So I think all I can do is say thank you for inviting us over.
Thank you for coming.
No worries. It wasn't like it's 3,000 miles away from where we live.
Yeah.
Real quick before you go, I want you guys to click this link right here. It's an absolute banger of a video. If you enjoy this stuff, you'll enjoy that video as well. Big thanks to Colin of the Paranormal Files. Go check him out, and we shall end it as we always do. Do you believe yet?